Man, I hate guys. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And I'm leaning in, Saige. I told you I was going to lean in.
That's a thick gold chain.
That's a thick gold chain.
Lean around the mic, show the people.
I told you earlier this summer, this was the summer where I'm going full Italian, Jewish, Miami grandpa.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it. I'm going back to my roots. I'm satisfying the look of my ancestors.
Yeah.
You know, there aren't even buttons on this.
No, there aren't.
I couldn't button it if I wanted to.
Miami Gramp.
Miami grandpa.
I was going to go with just Miami Graham, but that does imply grandpa.
Miami gramp.
Miami Graham.
Miami gramp. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Never felt breezier.
Yeah, you feeling breezy?
Feeling so breezy. Are you feeling breezy?
No, my clothing gets less breezy by the day.
That's true.
Wearing a milkmaiden outfit.
That's true.
There's boning in this.
Yeah.
There's nothing breezy about it, baby.
No.
I had put on something much more
What
casual
made you
for this morning.
decide milkmaid?
Because I thought it was cute.
It is cute.
That's it. That's the whole
Everybody
thing.
love a little fairy tale.
I love a corset.
Yeah.
This is a comfortable corset.
Did you know that you're not zipped back here?
No, fix it. Can't reach. Hey, thanks. Why now? Hey, Giant Bomb, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
Good morning,
We're
Giant
just
Bomb.
getting started. You have excellent timing.
What up?
We're just getting into it this morning.
Oh, lovely to see y'all.
You know, I had something casual on this morning, and then I thought, no, not on this day. The day of the new Neopets.
That's right. We've got huge Neopets news. Hey, Rich Bad at Game coming over from Giant Bomb. Missed Barbie Week. Baby, Barbie Week lives on forever in our hearts.
And in the VODs.
And also on YouTube.
Yeah.
So don't you worry. You can absolutely go check out Barbie Week. But you know, Saige, speaking of that, I do want to say, once again, hey, there's an entertainment strike. We know that. You know that. Everybody know that. Head to entertainmentcommunities.org to figure out how you can help out these striking communities and help make fairer labor for everyone.
Yeah, in fact, we actually just did a fundraiser on Saturday. We did a Barbie-themed D&D one-shot and raised $1,300 for a strike fund.
That's amazing.
That goes directly to helping people that are out on the picket lines, members of the union that are unable to work right now due to these massive corporations keeping fair pay from them.
That's right. And, you know, because it is the strike, we do not promote struck work, but there is something that I want to say, Saige.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Uh-huh.
So like, oh no. Quick, talk more about your milkmaid outfit.
Okay, it's a little late to come back to the milkmaid outfit, if I'm being honest. And I think it's got a little bit of a classy touch to it with the little bunny necklace.
All right, knock it off.
You haven't even fucking fixed it yet. How dare you?
Knock it off. Here's what I'm going to say. This happened this weekend?
Yeah,
Do you get what we're saying?
Yeah.
Like this happened this weekend?
Yeah.
And because this happened this weekend, it was the most successful weekend that Doom Guy and Isabel have ever had in their careers.
Yep.
And also, it was Isabel. We want to congratulate Isabel on the biggest opening weekend for a motion picture for a woman director and the fourth largest opening, I believe, in the last 10 years for something that is a non-sequel. We want to wish Isabel from Animal Crossing and Doom Guy congratulations on their big weekend.
You know, Anthony and I have talked about it a good amount, and it's this thing where it's like, this strike obviously has to happen. It had to happen. Look, I'm team, let's go general labor strike, babies. Let's all hit the streets.
Listen, we should all be striking. If you don't have a union, you should be figuring out how to get a union in your industry. We should all be walking out of work.
Exactly.
You're my boss. Get fucked.
Yeah, that's fair. Dagger's my boss, so fuck you, buddy. Anyways, it is unfortunate that the timing of this had to happen when there is such a massive release that is so impactful for women in our industry. Like both
Dagger
in
apologizes and says, if he give you extra 50 cent. Will you come back to work? He just need his yacht.
Oh.
He just need his yacht.
Oh, look at him. He does look like he need his yacht.
Do need his yacht.
Aw.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so both in the contents of it, like of the IP itself and how impactful it is for women, for the movie itself, and for the people involved. That's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it matters. And I want to cry about it a little bit because it is unfortunate that one of the big impacts that this is having right now on the industry will be on that particular thing.
But it is nice to know that Isabel's movie was projected to open at $110 million, and it opened at closer to 150. That's with this strike going on.
And that is your reminder that this is a labor strike and not a boycott.
Yep.
The people involved in the strikes, people in the unions, are still urging you to go and see movies, not to cancel your streaming subscriptions, to be able to continue watching things. This is not a call for a boycott on the media that you watch and consume and love.
Yeah.
It is instead a labor strike in not promoting and working for the studios.
Yeah, and also I think it shows that how important having these people involved, these creative people involved, these creative people being fairly paid for their work is. A big thing about this is AI. There's a lot of other stuff going on that I think is probably more important, but we hear a lot about the AI, and I think one thing that this shows, AI or not, these people are the heart of this thing. This was projected to make a decent amount of money and made even more with less promotion than they ever thought they'd have.
Yep.
And it's because the movie is unique and interesting and not what you would have expected. And it's made with, it was made by a person with a vision for this film.
Yeah.
Multiple people with a vision for this film. Oppenheimer is also there. I don't know. I'm sorry. Doom Guy. I just can't get excited for the Doom Guy movie. I just don't understand. A biopic in IMAX. We got to go see it. It's a big summer movie. I don't know.
I think that these two and the way that we're acknowledging it's funny that it's Isabel and Doom Guy is because it's the perfect idea of women telling a story of telling a fantastical story of magic and whimsy that through that story is also explaining the plight of women in actual real life society, and explaining things that are cultural and social problems that exist. And then Christopher Nolan also got so much money for an explosion for his. So he got all the money and made it so big and exploded so hard.
Now, I will say this, because of this weird marketing thing that happened where these two movies became haha, go see it, it's a double feature. Doom Guy had the biggest, including when he did The Batted Man, his biggest opening theatrically.
I don't think that would have happened.
It would not have happened.
I don't think it would have happened.
It would not have happened.
Because here's the thing. It's the thing we come back to continually, and we were talking about it a lot last week, is how repeatedly companies will act like there is no value in marketing to women when women are continually the largest demographic for spending money. It's wild. If you work in marketing, if you've ever had any kind of job in marketing and you've had to look at the back end statistically about where your money comes in from when it comes to supporting IP, it is consistently from women.
Yeah.
And yet over and over and over again, we do not invest in products that are marketed to and for women.
Yeah.
So then you've got something that finally did, and all of the girlies showed up and were like, sure, I'll watch Doom Guy too.
Yeah, because it's funny.
Because it's
a good bit.
Because we're funny and it's a good bit.
It's a good bit. And also,
for the bit.
Doom Guy makes interesting movies. We'll check it out.
For the bit.
This was also the first time that two movies opened, and Jelly PB mentioned this, the first time that two movies opened with over $80 million each. Usually one of these movies will tank the other movie.
Yeah.
This was only both movies just rose each other up. This is one of the biggest dual openings in the history of film. There are four that were like this, that were close to this. Noah Baumbach, co-writer on two of them.
How interesting.
How interesting. Everybody, that's that Noah Baumbach, everybody.
Because we like fun, because girls just want to have fun. Yes, thank you. Here's my question.
Yeah.
I would like to propose a theory. I'd like to hear your opinion on it.
Sure.
I think that
the nuclear bomb was bad. There, I said it.
hot take.
Hot take.
I think that the Isabel girlies showed up for the bit. I bet very few of the Doom guys showed up for the bit. I do not think that Doom guy actually did uplift Isabel.
No, and can I tell? No, absolutely not.
I think that is a very one-sided relationship.
I think Isabel did a really good thing for Doom guy.
I agree.
That's what I think. But I think like,
I don't think Doom guy's carrying his weight.
I think here's what it is. The people who are very excited for Doom guy are like movie people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when you're like, double feature, 2 movies are opening this weekend. The movie people who are like 70 millimeter projection. I have to see it at one of these 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those people are like, yes, I will see every movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think you're right. I don't think it was as much.
I don't think there are people who are like, well, I was gonna see just this one. I was gonna see just Doom guy, but
also Isabel's movie
doll
just looked delightful. We can all agree. We can all agree that Isabel's movie just looked delightful. And it was delightful.
Anyways, let's get into the rest of the news, shall we, BBs?
Sure.
How are you doing on this day, the day of X, Anthony?
I woke up this morning and all of a sudden, everything was fixed. There was only one site I had to go to for everything.
Yeah.
X.com, your everything site for everything. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on, it's Elon Musk drank a bunch of those 4 Locos by his bed that he keeps next to his gun that he showed or whatever, and probably did a little something, and then decided, fuck it, I'm flipping the switch. Twitter becomes X tonight. They didn't have a logo yet. They had nothing yet. And their logo, a guy was like, here's a logo that I used for my old podcast. You can use it if you want, Elon Musk. And Elon Musk said, cool, that's the X logo for right now.
No, is that real?
Yeah. It was from a guy's podcast. Not only was it from a guy's podcast, Saige.
Man, I hate guys.
Yeah, this dude was just like, please, Elon Musk, let me give you something. Let me give you something. You have so little. Now, Life Serial's saying the logo looks like a free font he Googled. The funny story, the person who used this as the logo for their podcast was just using the X from a monotype Alphabet's 4 font. And so somebody tweeted at them this morning, hey, Monotype, how much would it cost to license this font exclusively for use in logos? What would it take for me to steal this from Elon Musk? Isn't that amazing? And it's like, they put it on the big light outside, you know, that light that they shine on San Francisco, the fucking Twitter signal. Like,
God, I wish they wouldn't.
They did, and they put the X there. And the idea is that X.com is going to become your single site that for all your needs.
What else?
Oh, my goodness, Saige.
Like, what else do you provide?
Well,
half the features that I had when it was Twitter don't even work anymore.
No, Saige, here are some of the fun things that you're going to get on X.com. Number 1, they're going to limit the number of DMs for non-paying users. Now, you always complain about the trash in your DMs. This will help.
How else can they help me?
Oh, it's fun. If you're a verified organization, which means you have the yellow verified badge, not the blue verified badge.
Which is very expensive.
And not the gray verified badge.
Gray one.
Gray is for government, I think.
For governors.
It's for governors. It's for pip pip. Oi oi. Bob's your uncle.
Gray for governor.
X is your everything site.
Okay.
It's always a lovely holiday with you, Mary. If you are a verified business, there's like this LinkedIn hiring feature that just got added to Twitter, where like you can start hiring people on Twitter. Like, why?
Also, why does it still say Twitter?
Because not everybody heard that he was doing it.
But that's a blog post.
I kid you not.
It's a blog post, and the title says Twitter.
No, I know, because this was like a week or this was like
no,
that's
right.
Sorry.
It was a different site.
I'm sorry, this was 3 days ago.
It was a different site 3 days ago.
It was a different site then.
Yeah, of course.
Elon, I'm telling you, he literally decided yesterday. And he tells no one about this stuff. He had to send an email. He literally sent an email to his employees saying, this is the last email I'll be sending as a twitter.com email. We're turning into x.com. Everybody flip the switch. And they were like, oh, okay. All right. So now you can hire people on Twitter, which is exactly where I go to look for the best of the best.
Hey, at this point, as someone who occasionally hires, if you're on x.com, don't tell me. That can and will be used against you.
Don't tell me that you're hiring on x.com. Now there's also an article feature coming soon. Forget, they're not tweets anymore. How could they be? It's not Twitter. Forget X's. I mean, Elon does love to post about his exes.
Yeah.
But whatever we're calling them now, they're not long enough. The problem with Twitter is it's not something else. And that's
the microblogging website?
Yeah, that's why we had to turn it into something else. The problem with Twitter was that it was for sending small status updates. When on other sites, I can write long articles. I can post long videos. It feels weird to me that Twitter doesn't do all of those things. It seems like it's based around doing one thing that it's very good at. No. It should do all the things.
Poorly.
So now
should do more things.
There's going to be a feature that allows you to post long, complex articles. It's apparently called articles, but at one point it was called notes. And
for all the Notes app apologies that end up on Twitter.
Exactly. I mean, it's a direct pipeline.
Yeah.
Now they don't even need to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
They can post as long as they want, and it's a note. So all the horrible people will already be familiar with x.com as the ultimate fake apology site. There's no need to go to multiple apps and screenshot anymore. Listen, were you inappropriate with your employees? X.com. Do you need to apologize for racist comments that you made?
X.com.
X.com. Think about it. The reason it's not called Notes anymore, which was originally supposed to be called, is Substack had a feature called Notes. That was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, man, you can't do that. He was like, I do whatever I want. And then he quietly fixed it, like he always does.
Yeah. I saw this going around, people being like, Blue Sky has a chance to do the funniest thing ever right now. Blue Sky should just rename itself Twitter.
That's what I was
like,
saying.
if you don't want Twitter,
who?
You bought Twitter and then you completely changed everything about it. Blue Sky could just be Twitter.
We need to be camping. Sign up for one of those sites
where
that
it like alerts you
notifies you when a domain name goes up for sale. Because I want Twitter.com.
Yeah.
We missed Castlevania.com, and I will not miss Twitter.com. I should be the owner of Castlevania.com. I should be the owner of Bomberman.com.
You should be, Anthony.
But we missed it.
I know.
We're not going to miss Twitter.
Nope.
Castlevania.com, by the way, if you haven't seen, is a domain parking. It just parked the domain. Bomberman is the same. Konami doesn't want websites.
Yeah.
Listen, I hope you're all very, very excited about X.com. No one else is. So I hope you are.
Here's the
Somebody
thing.
should be.
No, here's the thing. You know who is. And when you see him, you run.
And it is a him.
Yeah. I felt very confident
No, it is a him.
There's a few of them, and you know who he is, and you run. Do you understand? You run.
People are just sort of dunking on it.
Yeah. EQ in the live studio audience brought up that even Sesame Street has gotten in on dunking on X. The letter X will be holding a press conference later today.
That's hilarious. Dan Slott, the creator of the Spider-Verse, said they're changing the Twitter logo to an X. That's literally the icon I click on when I want to close something on my computer.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with the history of Elon and X, X.com was the original name for PayPal. And then it got changed to PayPal. When he left PayPal,
Wait a minute, but he didn't start PayPal. He bought PayPal. He bought himself the founder title at PayPal. So did he have,
Yes.
I think it was that he had his own thing.
PayPal had not launched. He got in early. He did not create it.
No, he literally had to buy the title of founder.
But when he wanted to create X.com, when he wanted to do it, it was going to be X.com when they were showing like the private demos and stuff.
Yeah.
The private demos, by the way, were completely fake. He's talked before about how he ran them on like a desktop computer and they were completely simulated.
Yeah.
X.com, when he left PayPal amicably, he had to buy X.com back. And it took until 2017 for him to buy X.com back. That's why there's a Tesla X. That's why it's SpaceX. That's why everything, X is like his white whale. He meant to create this thing called X that was going to be everything. And he's never been able to do it. And now he thinks it's going to be Twitter, which is he's already lost like $20 billion of value.
He is simply obsessed with his exes.
Truly.
Shocking. A guy that looks like that, obsessing over his exes? Original. I've never seen it before.
Oops, all bad ideas. So that's what's going on with X.com. You know, they're saying that Threads has had like a 60 to 70% drop in interactions.
I stopped posting.
Yeah, there's nothing chronological. There's nothing that just shows people I'm following. It's the same problems that everybody had with Instagram, but with Instagram, we were all kind of invested.
Yeah.
Blue Sky wasn't around long enough for us to be invested. Threads wasn't around long enough for us to be invested.
I know, that's the problem. And it was the same thing with Hive, that by the time Hive went down, I was not invested enough to wait for it to come back up.
No.
And it's like, Blue Sky still isn't open. Blue Sky is trending right now on X, with everybody asking like, come on, man, open it up. Open up Blue Sky.
Just open it up.
It's gotta be time. This could be it.
Just open it up. First time live studio audience member VO5100 says, came in to lost $20 billion of value and obsessing over his exes and knew exactly what you were talking about.
Welcome.
To be fair,
You're one of our people.
I think there's only one person in history that's lost $20 billion, and it might be him. But that's what's going on with X. I am hoping that one of these alternative platforms pops up and does the right thing and becomes the next thing. I would love for it to, I don't know, they're all corporate and they're all weird and they're all owned by weirdos. I don't know who I want to win. It doesn't matter.
That's why Hive was great, because Hive was not owned by a big weirdo corporation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping that Threads causes like a halo effect where more people sign up for Mastodon, because their idea is it's eventually going to be interoperable because Threads is just a Mastodon server. If Mastodon becomes easy, which it needs to do.
If it becomes a different thing.
Yeah, it just needs to
It
become easier.
would have to become a different thing. It would have to become a different thing. I am not team Mastodon. I know a lot of my friends are.
Yeah.
But it simply is never going to be. I have to think of it at the end of the day that there are social media networks that you have to communicate with your friends, and there are social media networks that you have to have a platform. And we as like content creators have to think about that. So a replacement for Twitter can never be something that is inaccessible for the blanket general user. And now I don't see a version of Mastodon ever coming that like rando person who doesn't have like a particular affinity for technology gets into.
Well, right now the idea is all these different Mastodon servers have different like email address domains at the end of them.
Yes.
And that makes everything incredibly hard. The idea with Threads is like nobody needs to worry about that. And I'm wondering if Threads is going to come up with some like interoperable search or something like that.
Yeah.
Mastodon doesn't even have search, says Russell T. Because it can't search on multiple servers. There's a lot going wrong with Mastodon. The only thing I like about Mastodon, you're right. The only thing I like about Mastodon is the fact that it's open source and it's not owned by a corporation.
So Hive. I don't think Hive is open source, but at least it's not owned by a big corporation. It was created by like 2 college students.
Is Hive even around still?
Yeah. They keep notifying me and being like, we're here. VO5100 also said, very off topic, but I just finished watching Salt and Serpent and I absolutely loved it. I just wanted to say thank you.
Hey,
Very cool.
That's very nice of you.
Thanks so much. Well done.
So there's your X.com. Speaking of giant corporations doing weird, inaccessible tech things, y'all bought any Ubisoft games? Y'all bought any Ubisoft games in the last ever? When was the last time you logged into your Ubisoft account to play one of those games? Because if you've been inactive, Ubisoft is suspending and removing inactive accounts and removing their access to attached games.
The games you bought?
Yeah, the games you bought.
Now, can you reconnect and come back?
Now, here's what's going on currently.
Because, uh-oh.
Yeah, here's what's going on. Currently, they send you an email that says you have 30 days to log into your Ubisoft account. If that does not go to your spam, and you do not miss it entirely within those 30 days, you can reactivate your Ubisoft account. If you can't, oopie doopies.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oopie doopies.
No.
Yeah. Now this does have to do. They're saying that it's to bring themselves into compliance with Europe's General Data Protection Regulation. You have to remove inactive accounts after a certain amount of time because Europe says, like, hey, if accounts are inactive and have been for a really long time,
Yeah.
that's a data breach hazard.
Right, you're sitting on data.
Yeah, and it could be unsafe for that person. You're not allowed to hold on to their data. You have to purge their data. But here's the thing. You could purge a lot of the data that has to do with that account. You could deactivate remove personal information from that account and still keep
their games?
Or make a way for them to reconnect with their games. They simply are like, this is one of those things where giant game corporations go, well, this is us just trying to obey the law. And doesn't it just make things so hard and terrible?
Don't you hate laws?
Don't
you wish corporations made all the laws?
Oh, God, it's so terrible that these corporations are making us delete your games from you. No. It just sounds like you making sure that I can keep my games is some extra work and cost for you.
Yeah. And you're not going to do it.
Very cool. Very cool.
No.
Make another 8 Assassin's Creeds. Who cares?
Who
cares?
I looked up and I was like, what even are recent Ubisoft games?
Who cares?
Ain't shit.
Do you know what I'm going to lose? Do you know what I'm going to lose if I lose my Ubisoft games? The thing that I'll be the saddest about on the PC?
What?
Rayman Origins. That real good 2D Rayman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The only thing that I saw that I was like, oh, okay, was Mario and Rabbids. Of recent, the last 5 years, I was like, okay.
But that's a Switch game, so you're not going to lose it.
Yeah.
You're
you
fine.
You're not going to log in on PC for that.
You're good.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Bentley said, Steam never did that to me. Yeah, no one else is doing it. Here's the thing. If it truly was the only option in order to follow the compliance of the UK regulations, they wouldn't be the only ones doing it.
Yeah, it's weird and wild. Now, people are saying, I wonder about us console people. I don't know. If the console game makes you log in through Uplay or a Ubisoft account, which some of their console games did, I don't know. I don't play a lot of Ubisoft games.
Same.
I don't play a lot of Ubisoft games. Ubisoft's a weird company. I am looking forward to the Star War. But,
Yeah.
When am I not looking forward to the Star War?
Always looking forward to a war
Always
of the stars.
looking forward to a Star War. Come on. In more union news.
Yeah.
Very good union news. You like cartoons?
I love cartoons.
You may be shocked to know that aside from the actors that are on television cartoons, a lot of animation is not unionized.
Yeah, some writers are within the WGA, depending on the kinds of projects that they've worked on.
Some, there is an animators guild that does try to provide resources for animators, but they're not really unionized the way that the rest of Hollywood is unionized. And it's a huge deal. I've seen showrunners, animators, writers, storyboarders who have made wonderful things for corporations that have turned around and garnered huge audiences and made billions of dollars, and they get nothing.
Yeah.
They get paid nothing.
Yeah.
And animators work insane hours. It's it's one of those jobs. It's very much like VFX or game development, any of those things where it's like, we want to make the cartoons. So you're going to be here for 20 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
Because we love cartoons. It's a big problem. And hopefully there will be an answer to it soon, because Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers Animation production staff have filed to unionize.
So, and this is a big deal because it reaches other parts of production. There are so many people involved in productions, and there are different unions that exist within live action, film and TV, that people that are involved in anything other than writing and acting get to be a part of. So this says from the Animation Guild here, so it seems like there'll be a division of the Animation Guild, I am guessing. Congrats to WB and Cartoon Network production workers for filing an NLRB petition to unionize and demand voluntary recognition. Show your support, help them get the representation they deserve. Fuck yeah.
This is huge because Warner Brothers and Cartoon Network, as you may know, have been united, and by united we mean a lot of people had huge layoffs. A lot of people were left jobless after years, some of them decades, working at one of the two animation studios, and they've all been pushed into the same building. The Cartoon Network building here in LA has been shut down. And of course, Warner Brothers has been slashing their animated content on streaming services. This was a huge deal. A lot of Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers television animation shows have been removed from Max because simply David Zaslav does not want to pay residuals.
Yep.
And if something isn't making a certain amount of money and the residuals aren't the tiniest portion of that, he will axe it. And let me tell you something, even if the thing is making a lot of money, if he just doesn't want to pay residuals, he axes the project. We've seen this happen with a lot of people lately.
Here's your just over and over and over again layered reminder that the exponential profit model is terrible for everyone except for David Zaslav.
Now, a couple other of animation shops, including the studio that makes Rick and Morty, and also Gracie Films, the animated division that makes The Simpsons, and the animators behind The Family Guy, are all bargaining for their first union contract with the Animation Guild. This is a big deal, and this could change animation forever, and it would be amazing.
But it's the things that you see, for instance, right? So like if we didn't have the unions that we had for writers and actors right now, we wouldn't be in the collective bargaining position to have this kind of strike. So to even get in the position to join in on a strike like this, you have to have the collective organization right now of a union.
Yep.
So it's huge because the people that are involved in these animated projects can strike. Anyone can strike, but you don't have the support of a union behind you, which makes it incredibly fucking difficult to. And it makes it very easy for your employer to just fire you because of it.
Yeah, the idea is if you walk out and there's an entire union, they can't rehire because everybody else who's in the union goes, I'm not going to work for you. You just fired a bunch of union people.
Yes.
If you walk out of an unrepresented job, they just go, cool. There are probably some kids who want your job.
Yep.
Let's give them your job, whether they do a worse job or not. It doesn't matter.
There are union regulations that not only prevent, like in the, hey, you're not going to find somebody to replace this job, but there are also union regulations that protect you from them doing that.
Yeah.
They cannot do so to union workers in the same capacity.
And it's important to note that this is not just animators. This is not just the creatives that we're talking about here. This is everybody within an animated series. We're talking about the 88 employees in the group that are petitioning right now include roles like production manager, IT technician, design production coordinator. This is everybody in the office.
Yeah.
This is everybody in the office getting protected under union rules, which would be a huge change for animation.
I mean, when you look at animation, like there's nothing like IATSE for animation. IATSE covers a lot of people that work on production that are not writers and actors, that are not what is considered the like lead creative roles. So having something like that is incredibly important.
Yeah. So congratulations to them. And
cheers to new unions, baby.
Yeah. Good luck with the bargaining. What else is going on? I mean, goodness. I mean, we got to jump into this.
Are we going?
I think, okay. There's the one more thing while we're talking
like
about unions and labor.
Relevant.
Yeah, we should do this.
So when we're talking about labor and unions and we're talking about having something to back you up in collective bargaining and prevent your overlords from taking advantage of you. I think this is a great example of what happens to ununionized employees. Shopify. Shopify is a massive platform that is integrated into tons of other platforms to be able to run and operate your own store on the internet that a lot of independent and small businesses use. And recently, there have been massive layoffs at Shopify.
Yeah. So basically, starting in the summer of 2022, Shopify promised job security to its staff. And then July of the same year, massive layoffs. Massive layoffs. And an employee of Spotify has broken her NDA, or Shopify has broken their NDA. This is Nandini Jami. She broke her NDA Nandini Jami reported on it. This is a report of that, but a Shopify employee said, like, hey, just so you know, they fired their entire, or will have fired their entire global customer service team across the US, Canada, and Ireland, and is going to replace them with AI chatbots called Sidekick.
How interesting. These are the kinds of things that, is happening all over the place. And it breaks my heart. Hey, AI could be a cool technology. What the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Why are we doing this? Again, I say, why can't it help with, global warming? Why can we not be focusing AI on getting the plastic out of the ocean? Why is AI doing this?
Yeah. Toby Lutke, who is the head of Shopify, has not been subtle about their thoughts on this, even though they have been quietly laying people off. Just looking and saying, like, hey, turns out we need less workers to generate $1 million in revenue now if we start using these assistive technologies, which, hey, that sounds good if you take it just as the sentence it is.
Or if you're a bad person.
Or if you're a bad person.
If you're just like a bad guy.
If you're just like, oh,
if you're just a bad guy, sure.
But if you just hear like, oh, it requires less people, less workers for a company to make $1 million a year now. Oh, cool. But then when you dig into it, it's like, what do you mean by that? Where are you going with that? What do you want out of that? And the answer is to cut everyone. Now, the transition to AI and contract labor, according to this whistleblower, has already negatively impacted customer satisfaction and the well-being of the remaining workforce. There have been significant delays in customer support due to staff reductions and reliance on outsourced cheap contract labor. These are people who have not been fully trained. They work off-site. They haven't been there for as long. I've worked at a call center like that.
Yeah.
You're treading water the whole time.
Harry the Platypus in the live studio audience said the only thing I can see coming from this is people not dealing with Shopify's customer support and not using Shopify.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. You might think, good, fuck Shopify. But who does that actually impact? Who are the sellers on Shopify?
Right.
Independent businesses.
Also saying that teams responsible for monitoring fraudulent stores are overwhelmed, leading to a potential rise in scam businesses on the platform. This is a huge thing. There are bot farms that are out there where all they do is create fake stores on Shopify, use Shopify's front end, collect your money, and disappear in the night.
Correct.
There are tons of them.
Yeah.
They buy a certain amount of advertising. They show a product that you've seen elsewhere with a competitive price that's competitive enough to be real. They steal your money and they leave. And then employees have reported increased workloads without proportional benefits, resulting in burnout and stress, obviously.
It's the thing that we keep seeing. Statistically, workers are more effective and efficient than ever. People are more productive during their work days than ever before in history. And continually, we do not compensate them to live up to that.
I believe
they're making companies more money than ever.
Yeah, I believe efficiency since the 1970s has gone up 240% in the US, and commensurate pay has gone up 20%.
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
and the federal minimum wage has not.
So the average worker is giving somehow 120% more effort and productivity than workers did 50 years ago, and is somehow only being paid 20% more when inflation has gone up more than 20% in the meantime.
And they showed the S&P 500 there, the top 500 companies that are generating the most income. Well, hey, In the 70s, the CEO of those companies were making an average of 20 times the median worker's pay, and today they're making an average of 650 times. So we know where all of that extra productivity and additional revenue is going. So eat them. We know where the money is. It's not missing.
A funny thing that I saw is there was a headline that said that the WGA and SAG together are asking for over $400 million or something like that, and somebody replied, the gall of these 200,000 people to ask to split the salary of one CEO. Like, what the fuck, man? Don't worry. Movies are fine. TV's gonna be fine. Just fucking pay people, dog. Just fucking pay people. Fuck this fucking class inequality.
Fuck this shit.
Hey, but you know what? During a time of class inequality, Saige,
Yes.
we need escapism.
We do, more than ever.
More than ever, we need our nostalgic escapism, Saige.
I would love to say that it's a place where capitalism doesn't exist, but that's not the case. We're going back to Neopets, babies. I never left.
Hit the graphic. Back to Neopets.
Yeah. A big omelet explodes. I myself am the Neopets generation. I am the target demographic. I have seen every phase and iteration of Neopets.
She is the one who pets.
I am the one who pets. I was a huge Neopets fan as a kid. I was a log on every day and do my dailies kind of girly. And I can't tell you how many times in my adult life I have gone back for just that sense of nothingness nostalgia to spend a couple days.
Now, if you have gone back in the last couple years, you might have noticed that much like Return to Oz, much like a fairy tale in which the hero returns to the real world, an isekai, if you're a youth. When we return to that magical fantasy land, we find that it is in horrible disrepair.
Well, the thing is, most of Neopets was running on Flash. So unfortunately, when Flash went away, formally in 2020, like gone, cannot be used, gone, it was pretty much the end of Neopets. Something like probably 70% of the game library became unplayable. There were some that had been made later that were fortunately able to be preserved. But the games that you go back for, the nostalgia games that you have, I want to hop around as the little Tricks Rabbit. They probably don't even have that license anymore.
Now, you might have seen that only about 13, I believe, of the original, something like 500 mini games that were available on Neopets have been updated to work on HTML5. And you might say to yourself, why didn't they just update more? Why have they left the site in such disrepair? This is a site that still has, according to stats, a million active users a month. Could be more if they would fix the site. So what's going on? And the answer is, I believe it was about 10 years ago, they were bought by NetDragon. NetDragon is a Chinese company that makes mostly MMOs and educational software. And what NetDragon bought was a company called Jumpstart. Now, you may remember Jumpstart Games. Jumpstart Games made things like Math Blasters. Jumpstart Games in the 90s and 2000s created a lot of the educational edutainment games that we remember, and 10 years ago brought Neopets into the fold, thinking this would be they bought Neopets earlier. And then 10 years ago, NetDragon bought all of Jumpstart and spun Neopets out into its own department.
Now, Neopets has been passed hands a lot of times, and every time that you bring up Neopets, Tyler Eichenberg in the live studio audience has the question on everyone's mind. Isn't Neopets owned by Scientologists?
It was.
Well, kind of.
It was kind of.
Essentially, Neopets was not started by Scientologists, nor is it currently owned by Scientologists. Neopets was started by two people on their own who wanted to do something to market to college students who were bored. They did so entirely with no original artwork. In fact, there's a character on Neopets called Brucey. That's my personal favorite piece of Neopets trivia because it was just originally a photo of Bruce Springsteen.
I love that.
They just used a photo of him. They were like, that's kind of funny. That's a Bruce. That's a Bruce. Yeah, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Bruce Forsyth.
It was Bruce
Forsyth. That's what it was.
Holy
That's right.
shit.
It was Forsyth. I apologize.
What's up? Anglophiles everywhere. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was Bruce Forsyth. That's right. Thank you.
Hilarious.
But that's the original thing. They didn't have artworks. They just used a picture of Bruce Forsyth because they thought it was funny. Because it was just a game for college students.
Oh my God. Toast of London. What up?
Then it popped off. Neopets got absolutely massive. They didn't expect so many people to be playing it. And they looked around and they were like, oh shit, we can't afford to run these servers.
Yeah.
Because Neopets was not functionally monetized at the time.
They weren't thinking about it. They were like, we're making this thing.
It was just going to be a silly game for them to play with some flash games with their friends and with other people around their age group. So with that in mind, they opened it up to investors, and an investment group came in that did not come in and say, hi, we're Scientologists and we'd like to own a majority of your company.
No, Scientologists never do that.
Sure didn't. But they did come in and did turn out to be Scientologists after they had already bought large shares into the company. And instated a leadership board that was.
Yeah, Scientologists and Scientology-backed companies tend to work through a series of shell corporations and sub-corporations because they know that you don't want to sell to Scientology. And they know that you will be suspicious. So they will never come in and be like, we're Scientology. They don't say that.
And yes, there was Macy Gray was also a Neopets. That is correct, Comrade Ender.
Ladies and gentlemen, Macy Gray?
Yeah.
From the Spider-Man? Oh my goodness.
So when they did come in and they got a bunch of Scientologists there, all of a sudden, these two people who made the game themselves were like, oh shit, oh no, what did we do? And they didn't necessarily bring Scientology into the game because the original owners had to like fight it back. They were talking about putting things that were educational for children into the game, and they had to spin it as Neopets is not an educational game in order to prevent them from bringing Scientology into it. What they did do was reorganize the structure of the company onto like an org borg, which is like the traditional company structure of Scientologists.
Org borg is also my favorite Neopet. I got an org borg and a jub jub.
Org borg and a jub jub. So with that in mind, that was a stint, and it was during the height of Neopets. It was during that like early first thriving era of Neopets.
So that's probably why people remember it that way.
It makes perfect sense.
The most people were playing it at that time.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest headline about it at the time.
But if you've ever looked back and wondered, hey, was I being indoctrinated into Scientology? You weren't. No Scientology ever really actually popped up into the game, but you were being secretly marketed to because
it wasn't so secret.
Integrated marketing.
That's what I was looking at. The integrated marketing. Ooh.
Integrated marketing was originated by this group of investors that came in and they were like, hey, we have a brilliant idea of how to monetize Neopets, right? We don't want to be showing ads everywhere, people that'll lessen the experience. Instead, what if these things were secretly ads? Your pet wants McDonald's, everybody.
Yeah, that's where this came from. If you remember that your Neopet was hungry and the only thing that would fix your Neopet was a French fries from McDonald's, that's what was going on. And integrated marketing was, it's something that was already basically illegal on children's television. It had been rolled back after Reagan. Everything bad came after Reagan.
Hey, fuck you, Ronald Reagan.
Still dead.
Thank
and
God.
I am still dealing with your crimes. Basically, Ronald Reagan rolled back these things that basically said like, hey, if you're running a children's show, you cannot run a commercial that looks like the show. You can't advertise to a child directly in a way that makes it look like part of the show. That's fucked up. Kids don't know better.
And Ronald Reagan said, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Here's what we'll say. Ronald Reagan said, here's what we'll say. If you're watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles commercials allowed. Any other children's commercials allowed. Okay, get fucked, Ronald Reagan. So not even those minimal protections existed on the internet. And it's something that we're still fighting for on the internet today.
Which had a ridiculous opening for these people to say, whoa, we've just invented the idea of subliminal marketing to children. Let's patent that shit real quick. And then they tried. They tried to patent the concept of secretly marketing to children through what they called integrated marketing, which they had the Disney Theater in Neopia Central. They had the McDonald's. They had a few things that they worked in before.
Wasn't one of your favorite games a Trix Rabbit game?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just
You were just saying that, yeah.
Yeah, you hopped around and you were the Trix Rabbit. And like, here's the thing. Children's games do like collaborations and integrations all the time.
Yeah.
But it was the way that they did it specifically in a way that would make you go, well, if my Neopet loved this,
Yeah.
I probably love this.
I want to watch
probably
Disney
want
like my
this.
Jub watches Disney.
Yeah. Oh, I can watch, and they had a theater. You could go and you could watch Disney things on Neopets.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Neopets, way back in like 2009,
Uh-huh.
was far more functional than Decentraland is today. Somehow, Neopets, running for free off a server run by 2 college kids,
Uh-huh.
had more actual functionality and brand integration than every NFT-based virtual world.
Yep.
Get absolutely fucked the metaverse.
Get absolutely fucked. Well, about the metaverse.
About the metaverse.
Neopets did take its turn in trying to dive into the metaverse. That was like the most recent thing that we talked
Right.
about for Neopets. Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, so this is the thing. I believe it was like 2019, 2020, something like that. I know that it happened very shortly after the Jumpstart Next Dragon acquisition. Because what basically happened is Next Dragon said, we're not giving you money to fix this. We think that Neopets is more valuable. It's sort of the way that like Sega thinks of Sonic in those documents that leaked. We think that Neopets is valuable as a brand, but we don't think you're valuable as this core site.
Yes.
Which they don't understand that the value of the brand comes from the core site. At this point, they had tried a couple mobile games. They have like a Match 3 game. They have Neopets Island, which is basically like a town building game. And they were doing okay. But Next Dragon would only give them money for those new things, not for the core Neopets product. And so that's why if you've been following Neopets over the last few years, you've been like, how come all these new mobile games that suck are coming out?
And the site is crumbling.
And I can't do anything
I
with my
actually
Neopet.
downloaded and played both of the mobile games last night.
How were they?
Not good.
Not good.
They were not good. It was unfortunate. I just realized, I was like, oh, if we're going to be talking about this, I should check out what it is that they've been putting their money into for the last few years.
Yeah.
So I did. I downloaded both of them. One is just like a Candy Crush-esque matchmaking game. Super, super simple.
Yeah, that's like the fairy one, right?
Yeah. So that one is Neopets Fairy. What? Hold on.
Neopets Fairy, give us money.
Yeah. It was unfortunate. There is a little story in it, which is kind of neat, I guess. It was fine. I found it a little too wordy in the dialogue. That is Neopets Fairy's Hope. Fairies were always part of Neopets. And then I also downloaded Island Builder, which was not a Neopets game. It was very, very strange. Neither have been loved by anyone.
Anyone at all.
Neopets
ever.
actually is down as a site right now, I think.
Oh, that makes sense. People are probably like trying to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I
was on it this morning, but-
So this is Neopets Island Builder. Basically, you play as just somebody who's helping these Neopets, and all they do is talk to you and tell you that maybe you should get some more crystals or something. I don't know. It's whatever a mobile game is.
However, all of this is being talked about because a new era of Neopets is coming in, and
yeah.
it doesn't look like this.
Well, yeah, because after these mobile games, they had somebody say, okay, well, what's the real way that Neopets could be valued as a brand that we're also going to make this money? And the answer to getting that bag was NFTs.
It wasn't the answer to getting that bag, to be clear, but that's what they thought it might
Narrator
be.
voice, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But the Neopets NFTs were connected to a Neopets game called Neopets Meta.
Yeah.
So if you bought a Neopets NFT, you were allowed to play the Neopets Meta Alpha, and it was basically like a 3D Neopets game.
Yeah.
And
Which is something people always wanted, was to be able to play in like a 3D space with their actual Neopets. And if you picture that, it probably ends up looking something like Webkins is what you would think, right? You get to actually walk around with your pet. You see your pet out in the world. You can see them interacting with other things. When you're playing a game, it's a little more connected to them. But no, they said crypto scams.
Yeah, so this became one of those games that's called play to earn, which means like basically you're trying to raise your Neopet and then find other Neopets that are rare NFTs that will then gain value for you. Why? This is not something anybody wants.
It's a bummer because the game itself actually looks kind of fun.
Yeah, and we've got some good news about that coming in a moment. But the gentleman that was brought in to kind of make this happen is a guy by the name of Dom. What's his name? Dominic Law. Dominic Law was the head of the Neopets NFT, Neopets Meta project. And he, if you listen to interviews with him or read interviews with him in like 2023 or 2022, like this year, last year, he's very he's all excited about it, He's like, Neopets is one of the first online games that introduced the world of the internet to its players, and that's what we're going to replicate with Metaverse. We want to be one of the first fun games to introduce the world of Web3 to our previous user base and to users who are new to Neopets. And at the time, we were like, fuck this guy.
I mean, think about it. Like, your target audience is people like me.
It's not kids.
It's not anymore. Realistically, kids are not getting on Neopets new and now. There is the opportunity to create a world where they do, but that's not what's happening.
No.
If you're trying to market something to an existing Neopets fan base, which is all you fucking got right now.
They say that their average player is late 20s, early 30s, which makes sense.
It's the Nintendogs girlies.
It's if you grew up with it as a kid and you loved it that much, you're probably still playing it as your comfort game, and that's who the audience is. And it makes sense from a corporate perspective in last year during all that frenzy for the corporation to go, well, we'll give you money for your Neopets. Can it blockchain? What if it blockchained and everybody fucking hated it?
Everyone hated that.
Everyone hated it. But then some really wild news happened just a little while ago. In May, we found out that Jumpstart, the educational gaming company that bought Neopets, I guess from the Scientologists.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because the Scientologists had like a majority ownership, but in like a board setting and not like a traditional ownership setting.
So they just bought the stock.
Yeah.
So Next Dragon said, we're getting rid of Jumpstart. We don't want any of this stuff. We don't want Neopets anymore. And a team inside of Neopets that was surprisingly run by Dominic Law spun out Neopets into its own company, which they own.
Yeah.
So Dominic Law found a way to bring Neopets into its own thing, which means last year when we were going, fuck this guy, Dominic Law, here's what we didn't know. Dominic Law behind the scenes was just trying to keep Neopets alive. And when they said the only way to do it is NFTs, he's like, then I'll do NFTs, I guess, because I have to keep Neopets alive.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what the moral alignment with NFTs Dominic Law has.
Well, he has gone on record saying that NFTs are not the future of Neopets, and they are spinning down all the NFT projects.
But that also could be from the perspective of someone who truly did believe in NFTs at the time, truly wanted it to be a thing, and now has realized that clearly it's just not a good decision.
That's fair.
Pretty much everyone can see at this point, even if you were somebody who was pro NFTs, you can see that there isn't money in them now. So regardless, like I said, that's why I say I don't know his actual alignment with the NFTs.
What I'm going to say, though, is
no more NFTs.
No more NFTs, and maybe we were a little hard on Dominic Law. That's all I'm going to say. Because we don't know.
I don't know.
Because we don't know. Time will tell. But
I'm going to hang it a true neutral on Dominic Law. But Neopets announced that they've got a new leadership team, and they are going to be making big choices with it. And the way that I found out about this, even as a Neopets fan, was not from Neopets themselves. No. Instead, it was from John Legend.
Okay. Here's where things get odd.
John Legend's skin is so smooth in this video that I thought it was a deep fake.
That's just John Legend, baby.
Like, just watch this video with me, and this is not shade to John Legend.
No.
John Legend, I'm just saying, has excellent skin, which sounds a little Buffalo Bill when I say it that way. But like, damn, that's one smooth man.
In so many ways. In so many ways.
Right, though? Something about it and the way that his head's holding very still, I was like, is this deep faked?
His head's holding very still because he's clearly reading the message off his phone as he's recording it.
Exactly.
And he's basically saying, hey, what's up? It's me, John Legend. Me and my family, we love Neopets. And I am so excited to be the first brand ambassador for Neopets.
John Legend. I'm so confused by this choice. What is this marketing strategy? They didn't choose, like, here's the thing, okay? I wanna exist in a hypothetical with you, Anthony. If you'll join me. We're the Neopets marketing team, okay? We're sitting down, we're thinking.
Should we get our blazers or are we okay?
I think we're okay.
All right.
We're sitting down and we're trying to think, what will help us reconnect Neopets with its fan base, what will help us bring in a new fan base for Neopets, who has the reach to tell people Neopets is back, baby.
It's only one person. We got to get the legend.
Why not?
We got to get the legend.
I'm like 100% serious in this.
Do you know
not like a fam? Like what about a?
Do you want to know my 100% serious answer?
Me.
I think he invested. My 100% serious answer is John Legend either invested his own money or was offered stake in Neopets to do this.
I think investment is a very possible thing. I think that's a very possible thing. Because they announced that they're doing in general a brand ambassadorship program, which, hey, Neopets, let me in. Let me in.
Come on.
I'm 100% serious. I say this as somebody who, on my entire career on the internet, has been defending that you are not owned by Scientologists anymore.
That's right.
I have spent my whole internet career being like, they are not owned by Scientologists anymore.
And also, may I suggest that as a new slogan?
Not owned by Scientologists no more.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Please make me a brand ambassador for Neopets.
Why isn't PixelCircus like the official news channel for this new Neopets
That's
era?
what I want to know.
Why aren't we? Look at our beautiful candy-colored background. Look at how cheerful we are. Look at how age-appropriate one of us is. You know, but I can pretend that I have kids. I can pretend that I'm a good dad, if that helps. I don't know. What do you need? What do you need, Neopets? We're there. We're there.
We could be a beautiful father-son duo.
That's
I am
right.
the father.
That's true. And I have Benjamin Button's disease. And
You're my son, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Let's take a look at some of this. I want
to finish this marketing thing, though. I really want to know because there's no one else that's been announced as a Neopets brand ambassador.
No,
so maybe he's investing.
That's what I want to say is they have said that they are going to get huge into the community. And one of the things that they're going to do is this brand ambassador program. They're saying Neopets has ignored the community for too long. Which
has been genuinely a massive complaint of the community that's still existing on Neopets. Things like support tickets never being fulfilled, things like reaching out, just doing nothing, and things like just letting the site itself fall to obsolescence.
There are a couple goofs in this actual thing, this statement that say, see, we do read your comments. See, we are reading. Like, as like a little aside, like, see, so they're saying TNT is going to begin releasing monthly updates, hosting regularly scheduled AMAs, not MMAs, but I do want to see the Neopets hand-to-hand fight to the death.
Creator clash between a Jub and a Bruce.
Which Bruce?
Forsyth, baby.
Forsyth gets knocked out in one shot. TKO in no time.
Big feet on those Jub. One good smack.
So they want to launch a brand ambassador program, and they say they want it to help bridge the gap by enabling key members of the Neopets community to serve as liaisons to TNT, helping make Neopets better for everyone by advocating for the wants and needs of players.
Yeah. Also, yes, there is an actually officially licensed Neopets tarot deck that the chat just discovered. If you didn't know, that's a real thing they made a few years ago.
That's the thing. Neopets has been kept alive on merch.
Yeah.
Hardcore on merch. When you went to the Neopets front page for the last 2 years, the front page was just an ad to click to the merch page. There was nothing else going on the front page of Neopets.
Neopets is back up. I was able to load it again.
Now they have a new front page that they say is coming, or they say they have new stuff coming on July 25th, new games.
That's tomorrow.
The new front page is up today, which actually is clear, is easy to read. It's like, hey, what's going on with Neopets? Here are all the things that you can have for Neopets.
Until you go to actual Neopets, which loads the original unfortunate kind of crumbling website. It's not been updated yet.
Now, here's what they say about the updating of the core Neopets experience. That's obviously the thing that is the most fucked. So there are two things going on. They're working on a brand new 3D game that's going to take a little bit of every successful 3D product that they've had.
It's the thing we were talking about that I think would be kind of a Webkins where you are living, but you are playing as your Neopet, which is a different dynamic than traditionally you have.
And you can swap out between different Neopets that you have, all this stuff as a 3D game, bringing them right into the 2010s, you know? But for the core Neopets experience, they say that they've staffed up and it's gonna take a lot of work. And the first thing they're gonna do is they're going to bring back a lot of these Flash mini games that have gone away. They're going to do so by using something called Flutter. Flutter is a Flash emulator that converts Flash to HTML5. It's been created as one of those stopgap initiatives to make sure that we don't lose all of the like amazing web content and games of the early 2000s, which is just gone.
I don't think the Tricks game is coming back.
That's up to that silly rabbit. Do you know what I mean?
General Mills, I think. They had a
General
huge
Mills?
integration with General Mills.
So 12 games are coming back, and their idea is that they're going to start recreating more of those mini games in HTML5 and potentially in 3D. And they're gonna start updating the site to be a more modern experience, but that's gonna be an entire redo. This backend is 15, 20 years old at this point.
It is.
So they've got to update everything.
I'm curious, BBs. I see that there's definitely some that are Neopets kids. I can tell like Stellar Sorcerer saying, I want paintbrushes to be easier to get, please and thank you.
Can you log into
I want that
Neopets?
so bad. I couldn't log in today. I had a saved password that is saying it's wrong. So I don't know if it was part of the data breach that something got fucked up or if my keychain has saved my password wrong for some reason.
Oh.
I tried to reset it and I never got the reset email.
Oh, could it have gone to a different email? Did you have a baby email?
Well, here's the thing. This is not my baby, not my baby Neopets account.
Okay.
I had an original Neopets account that I've not been able to get into, unfortunately, in many years. But I did make one with like my current username. I made a not Saige Neopets account.
Okay.
That I'm not able to get into right now. I'm gonna keep working on that after the show. But I want to know, what was your favorite mini game? I would love to know what your favorite game on Neopets was. I was a Destructo Match girly. I loved Destructo Match.
Out of the few that I've seen, I enjoy the one with the Roly Armadillo.
Oh yeah, very good.
Roly Armadillo is pretty good. I found this creator on YouTube as I was looking into Neopets last night. Who's a daily Neopets creator?
Ooh.
Who when one of his videos from this year is like, hey, sorry I haven't posted in a while, but it's hard when you're a grown up and the thing that you post about is dead. So here we go.
Yeah. Neopets Squishmallows. Oh my God.
But showing like his average day on Neopets. Look at that. That's a 4,539 day old.
How many years is that? Someone do math.
Tuscanini. That's from Jump. That's
Yeah.
over 10 years. No.
I don't know.
Just under 10 years.
I don't know how to do math. So here's some things that we've picked up from the blog. They are going to be revamping the apps that currently exist, which is like fine. Generally, the Neopets community has been like, I don't really care about that. I didn't really like these. They did say that they're working on this new world. What they didn't say specifically, and people are a little concerned about, is that they will be updating the web version of the actual foundational Neopets game. Technically, they never said that.
Yeah, they've only talked about the mini games.
Exactly. They've talked about the mini games, but those mini games also might be coming to the mobile app. They've been teasing an official Neopets mobile app for a long time, which I think is a great idea. Like, you got to be on mobile if you want to get the new kids in. You got to be an iPad app.
I would be shocked if a year from now, if they've done everything. They say that they have a development roadmap that's up, and I'd love to see that. But I would be shocked if in a year or two we don't see that front page of Neopets that we just saw be sort of like a portal to all things Neopets and like the ability to log into your account for support.
Yeah.
And then everything moves to a mobile game. A core mobile app that is the new version of Neopets.
Here's what I'd love to see, personally. I would love to see, because they're talking about this mobile app being kind of a different game where you're playing as your Neopet and existing in a 3D world, I would love to see the two compatible. I would love to see, like, there was a version of that for Tamagotchi for a little bit where you could go into the app as your Tamagotchi, but you still got to play as, like, the parent of your Tamagotchi. I would like it to be on the website. I play Neopets as Neopets has always been for me.
Yeah.
I have my pets. I do these things with my pets. And then those same pets, connect those accounts. Please, Neopets, connect those accounts and let me use my actual pets.
Well,
and then be able to play as my pets in the mobile app.
Yeah, I think
That's the dream.
Can I tell you why I think it's going to be a full port of users and their pets into the new mobile app? The reason Jumpstart shut down, the reason for all of this happening is the huge data breach. What was it? It was something like 40,000 people
Yeah.
had their user data breached.
It was a massive one.
And 4,000 of them started a class action lawsuit against Jumpstart, which caused Jumpstart to basically default.
Yeah.
And caused NetDragon to say, this is a loss, shut it down. I'm wondering if this rusty old crickety Neopets taped together back end, if they're like, let's just trash this, yank the user data, put it into something totally new and make that a mobile app. We're only developing one thing. And then eventually if we make a web-based version of this mobile app, dope.
It's not what I hope it is, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll find out. I also want to talk about some people's favorite ones. The Fairy Bubbles game. It's essentially Puzzle Bobble, but it was fairies and Neopets. Perfect, beautiful, aesthetically iconic. The entire fairy world was. They did not capture that in the mobile app, in my opinion, as someone who loved Fairytopia, I think it was called. Or no, Fairytopia is something else. I don't remember what the actual fairy world was called. So good. I would agree that I would love to see it on Switch. The card game Cheat, yes, so fucking good. I was watching a YouTube video from somebody who is like another Neopets creator.
Yeah.
And they were going through the blog post and talking about it, and they were talking about the changes that they would like to see made. And one of the things that they mentioned is that one of the games that's in the tournament setting, they were like, we have to offer less good prizes because there were things that you could get in it that were worth like 2 million Neo points, right?
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't because it was fucking with like the economy of Neo points in this. They were saying they had like developed essentially like carpal tunnel in their hand from the like rapid clicking that they had to do from the game because they were so into getting this bag.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you have to give away less good prizes so that people won't spend so many hours per day doing it. Isn't that wild? Like, I don't know who's in the wrong there, to be honest.
That's like when Nintendo had to send out gamer gloves.
Yeah.
Because kids were doing this with the N64 joystick to play Mario Party.
But it does remind me of a previous controversy from Neopets, which was the Brucey B slots. I was addicted to this, and I had forgotten about it. I am somebody with a pretty addictive personality.
A literal child slot machine.
And that's what it was. It was literally just slot machines. Though that was very common in kids' games. Slot machines, like, I think of all the Facebook games that I played. I think of Yoville was one that I was like super fucking into, which was a Zynga game from the developers of Farmville.
Yeah.
That was just a life simulator. They had a whole casino. They had a casino that you could go to. Now, I will say, though it wasn't technically marketed to children, it was, I'm sure, predominantly children on this game. Thank you,
It's
Sierra. Nobody else played that game.
It's a
I love that
new
you're here.
world. It's a new world where we don't put child slot machines in games. But back then,
But it was
nobody
huge.
thought about it.
But I have such an addictive personality. I was so fucking into these slot machines. I was so into these slot machines. Oh my God. It makes me wonder because my mother took me to Vegas one time and I remember just being there like, can I touch the fucking slot machines, please? Please let me pull the thing, please.
I remember-
Please, I want to touch the slot machines so fucking bad.
So my dad used
I
to
wonder if
live in
that's Neopets' fault.
My dad used to live in Mississippi, which has casino gambling. And I remember I wasn't allowed to gamble, but I would be like, hey, I want to try. And he's like, well, you can't try, but here's what you can do. And so he gave me $5 and he was like, these are the dollar slots. He's like, you may pick 5 and watch me pull the thing. And I was like, sucks.
Yeah.
But let's do it. And I didn't win any of it. And when he walked back, he's like, well, see, you didn't win. I was like, no, you didn't win. Fucking let me in there.
Let me in there.
Let me in there.
I would have won it.
I'll win. I will win.
Hello and welcome in, Raiders.
Hey,
welcome to It's Too Early.
We're just talking Neopets,
We're just
baby.
talking about Neopets. When we were in Vegas, I wanted to pull the slots so badly that my mother had to go into a gift shop and buy a tiny slot machine so that I could play with it in the hotel because I was just insufferable about it.
Yeah, I used to love the Mario 2 slot machine too much.
Yeah.
At the end of the level, I'd just be like, bing, bing, bing. Or the one in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
I would just be like, come on.
So we have stopped putting slot machines for the most part in children's games, probably for that reason.
We are medicated now.
Yeah.
So they said that the roadmap is going to be on the Neopets homepage, but I can't find the roadmap. What I do know is that in addition to the new games coming back, or the old games coming back as new, they are working on a new plot. There's going to be a new main story plot coming to the core Neopets game for the first time in a very long time.
Which is very cool for the, like, essentially there hasn't been a big plot in Neopets. There have been like little things that happened, but since we like built out the map of Neopets has a storyline as to like how things got there. I remember when I was a kid, when the aliens came. Do y'all remember when the fucking aliens came and then we got a whole new planet floating above Neopia? Because I do. That shit was huge.
I still don't understand what the core gameplay loop of a Neopets is.
Dailies.
Yeah, it's just
the
dailies.
gameplay loop is dailies. So it is logging on, playing games. There are games that you can only play once a day.
Yeah.
You go through, you play all of your games.
And
you
you
play
just
mini
get
games.
and you just get points and you throw them towards your pets.
So you get points that you can buy things for your pet. You do have a house
Yeah.
that you can like build. It wasn't a huge mechanic because it was kind of poorly made.
They said that Neo Homes are coming back. They said they don't have a timeline for it, but Neo Homes will be coming back and they want them to be larger than they were previously.
A lot of people could not. It was like prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Do you have a
this
house
I
in
remember.
Neopets?
This I remember. Like, I don't know if it was you telling me or like a video that I watched or something, but like, you had to be landed gentry, basically.
And I had a house and it had all plastic inflatable furniture. Because of course it did, baby. Early 2000s, let's go.
Oh yeah.
So with that in mind though, your Neopets are used, or your Neopoints. There's two different things. There's Neopoints and Neocash. Neocash came in later and that was like the equivalent of real currency in it that you had to buy with real money. Never had that. But Neopoints were used to feed your pet. You had to buy your pet's food. You could do things like there were certain accessories that you could buy to clothe them. You could buy things like paintbrushes off the black market.
Oh.
So there is a massive part of Neopets that is user to user, like shops and trading. And you could customize it like a MySpace, your Neopets store.
Yeah.
You could like HTML code what your page looks like, and they were very MySpace looking at the time, just due to the era that it was. So there was essentially a massive black market and like its own economy of user to user selling, mostly of paintbrushes. Occasionally of the thing they called negs.
Poor name.
Really, really bad. They were egg things. It was not good, but yeah. So most of your money would go to things like that. You could buy things for your house. You could buy pets. Your Neopet could have a pet.
A Neopet pet. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I was looking for any game footage of Neopets home and just, any of that old functionality that we're like customizing a Neopets home. But it's not,
Oh, yeah.
But it's not really it's tough to find this stuff because if you found it, it would be like years and years old.
Right.
So it's pushed down to the bottom of the algorithm.
Here we go.
There we go.
Never mind. This is a child.
Yeah, that's probably a literal child.
No, it literally is.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's a literal child.
Yeah, I went to click on a video and it was somebody decorating their house, but there was a cam in the corner of like a 10-year-old, and we're not gonna watch that. I don't feel comfortable. Literally, this kid's like laying down playing Neopets. I'm like, get off the internet, go outside. Sorry. I do understand that Neopets was literally made for you, but not, no. Anyways.
Yeah, no.
I'm excited to see. I logged on wanting to get onto my account and I was very sad that I couldn't.
Yeah.
I want to play Neopets real bad. I'm excited. The one thing I am a little confused by, and like it's cool to make this announcement, but it is a little sad that they didn't give us any updates like to the site itself, that they didn't give us something that we could be doing on Neopets right now upon this big announcement of like new ownership. They've got promo going out. Like I'm surprised they had John Legend post before there was a game to play.
Yeah. Come on, John Legend.
Like, I don't get that. The Wrath of the Snow Ager.
Is this just music from it? Probably.
Man.
Oh no, there it is. Getting tougher. Level complete. But yeah. I'm glad
Tug of War.
I'm glad this is coming back. Yeah, see if it works better on yours.
Extremely simple concept, but played it so much. You just chose who you were, and then you did a tug of war. You just had to do what it told you to type.
Now, are you doing this against the computer, against somebody else? Could it be both?
Computer. This is computer.
Okay.
There were things that you could go into the Neopets arena and play competitively. That came in later, but generally, pretty much all of the games were against computer. That was like the typical gameplay loop. I found the tricks one.
Loading the haunted house.
Is this the one? Hold on. Oh no, this was a different Trick sponsored game.
Hold on.
They had multiple Trick sponsored
It's a
games.
Neopets haunted house text adventure.
Yeah. Oh, let me see if I can find the other Tricks game. Does anyone remember what I'm talking about where you did the little hops? There was a Tricks game, right?
Look at this. Investigate the noise. Push open the door and walk in. Push open the door and walk. No, investigate. Come on. What are you doing? Push open the door. I'm totally invested in Neopets haunted house now.
Yeah.
I'm totally invested. Make a choice. I hate this person. I hate this child having fun.
Likely who was playing. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate this absolute child having fun.
The bunny game. Yeah. I think it was Trick sponsored. It had to be.
Oh no. The Neopets Universal Studios Orlando roller coaster rampage.
Yeah, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, man.
That is marketing to children.
Yeah, a lot of it. There was a lot of marketing to children. Here's some Nickelodeon things because for a moment, I believe it was Neopets owned by technically Viacom for a minute?
I don't know, but the Universal Studios and Nickelodeon would make sense. Oh, I gotta see this.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah. Oh
love this
shit,
game.
here it goes. It's wild. Not enough points. I don't even know what happened.
Guys,
Is
y'all
this
remember
it?
this shit? This is a different one. This is Azuki Frenzy. This was a fashion game.
Move
were-
Lucy around the 8 rooms.
You were collecting her little outfits.
Top down.
Yeah. Yeah, good looking game. You just had to collect all the little outfits. I loved this fucking game so much.
So I can see why this thing fell apart over time. This was a loosely connected series of different Flash games that minorly spoke to one another.
What's New Scooby-Doo? The Flash game?
And so it makes sense that over time it all falls apart.
The things that were
Yeah.
the like glue of it, that's why I say it was the dailies. It wasn't even the games in my opinion. It
Yeah.
was going and every day you could get a free omelet.
The giant omelet.
The giant omelet. You could go and get your free omelet. You could spin a wheel. There were like 3 different wheels you could spin a day. There was the fairy wheel, there was the wheel of monotony, there was the wheel of misfortune, and there was what was the other? The good wheel. What was the good wheel? The main good wheel.
You know, the main good wheel.
You know. There's the giant omelet. The giant omelet was huge. Free food for all, said Neopets. Or if you were poor, you could go to the soup kitchen. Fun fact. If you
Isn't
had
there
a
also
low
a-
enough income level in there, you could go to
Go
the
to the
soup kitchen.
soup kitchen.
That was real.
That's so messed up. What about the there's the money tree too, right?
Yeah.
Where like people can leave stuff for like players who are too poor to have things.
Yo.
That was it. That was all. That was the entire gameplay.
That's all it was. That's all you do. You just click it and it gives it to you. And it says like, the omelet grumbles. It gives you this kind of omelet. So the money tree,
That's it.
the money tree was not even an income capped thing in any
That's
capacity.
the interaction.
Yeah, that's the gameplay loop.
That's the entire interaction.
That's the game. Welcome.
Jesus,
Welcome
kids
to
are
Neopets.
dumb.
Okay, the money tree. Hey,
Hey,
how dare. I've done this many times as an adult. The money tree is where people could just drop off things and people would leave extremely valuable things sometimes just for fun, essentially. If you like, you would usually get to a point on Neopets where you're like, money means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I have everything I could ever need. It's weird how billionaires don't do
yeah,
that.
you could just get there. Hey, you could just get there, and then you could be there, and then you don't have to take from other people anymore.
So what you would do is things would go very, very quickly and you would just sit there and you would refresh the tree and refresh the tree and refresh the tree. And you just had to be the fastest to click something.
Yeah.
But a million other people are also loading it at the same time and you're just trying to grab stuff.
I can't imagine why they had problems with their server costs either.
Yeah. You would literally just be sitting there like refresh, click, refresh, click, refresh, click, refresh, click.
That's so wild.
That was wild, but you could kill hours like that, man.
Sure.
You could kill hours and you could get good shit. Or you get little things where you're just like, I fed my Neopet today from the money tree.
Shout out to Babish Culinary Universe.
Nice.
Making the giant omelets from Neopets.
Hell yeah.
Man, look, we've talked about this before, and even if this isn't something that was for me or was mine, I get very, very excited when a core piece of early internet is either resurrected or preserved.
Yes.
Because too much of it is disappearing. The whole reason why that Flutter emulator exists and so many different projects exist is because people are trying to back up these Flash games. there was that thing from the Video Game History Society that Frank Cifaldi and Kelsey Lewin put out the other day. They funded that study where 87% of all video games are lost.
Yeah.
87% are lost. And that does not count early internet flash games, which is not the focus of the Video Game Preservation Society.
So that is very exciting to see this being revamped, put another life into. I also get very excited when when companies in general make really strange marketing choices I don't understand.
I want to know more about this John Legend thing.
There is a special thing in my heart that is filled with so much excitement when a company does something just a little bit unhinged, like uses John Legend to market a children's game. I want to know. I want to understand. I want to sit in on the meeting. I want to raise my hand and say, hey, what do we think? Why John Legend? Maybe he's investing. Maybe he's been offered a stake in it. But I want to fucking know. Because maybe also there was just some marketing person who's like a huge John Legend fan and would be like, wouldn't it be cool if we got John Legend? And not like, you know, a family vlogger.
I feel like that's how John Legend winds up in everything. Because here's the thing. I know that John Legend has a lot of fans.
Yeah.
Like a lot of dedicated fans.
Yes.
I don't know any of them.
No.
I don't know any of them.
And here's the thing. Everyone kind of likes John Legend.
Yeah, I totally, John Legend's great.
Everybody kind of likes John Legend. And for a while, everybody liked Chrissy Teigen. That is no longer the case.
No,
Chrissy Teigen fucking sucks.
She's a fucking problem.
Yeah, Chrissy Teigen fucking sucks. In my humble opinion, trash. Bullied a teenage girl on the internet to horrifying degrees. But I just want to know.
I want to know how this all happened.
Here's the thing that I would think. You know who I would, if I was in marketing?
How does this,
who I would target first to be like, let's bring in the ambassadors? It would be family creators on TikTok.
Of course.
It would be family creators, people who make videos with and about their kids. They would then show it to other parents that could be like, hey, here's a game for your kids.
And also like your toy channels, your family gaming channels, like all of that stuff. But marketed around, hey, this is the game that mom used to play when she was a kid.
Yep.
Now you can play mom's favorite game. Let's play it together.
100%.
That's so good. That's a perfectly fine mini golf game.
Thank you. Obi said I would have chose one Saige Ryan first.
I mean, that's the one, right? That's the one. If there was one channel, if there was one person and one channel,
it should be us.
These are games. I could see myself playing a ton of these games if I was a kid. Why wouldn't I?
Great Flash games.
Why wouldn't I?
It was just a hub where, like, if you think of it, that we were all on Miniclip, for instance, at the time. It was just Miniclip with pets.
Yeah.
Miniclip with a pet to feed.
Well, that's the thing is I love that the idea of it's very clever to have this spoken hub thing where the hub is the core Neopets HTML site or whatever, where you're getting your points, feeding your pets, and then the games are all Flash games that they can just add and remove as needed. That's very smart. I
didn't love a lot of the just random Flash game hubs because there wasn't a lot of satisfaction in winning.
No.
You mean, like, what do you do? Okay, you won, and that's great, and you can set high scores, and that was generally kind of the only incentive was to set a high score for yourself.
And even playing like...
But getting points that I get to do something with, ooh, much
but then
better.
Also, because also then if you're on one of these like Flash game portals and you wind up playing 3 bad games in a row, you're like, this sucks, because it's hard to find good games. But if you're at least getting points for what you do, you're like, well, that game is bad, but now I can, I don't know, feed my Jub an omelet or whatever it is you do. Like, I think that's cool. They really love the title screens on this channel. Yeah. I don't know why.
C. Dandino said, okay, Saige, who gets Neopets? Your personal channel or PixelCircus? PixelCircus. iRedder said, gay Jewish communists are usually the first choice of corporations in need of anything for marketing.
It's the Alvin and the Chipmunks Neopets integration.
Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah. They integrated a lot of stuff.
It's just Alvin and the Chipmunks personality test / trivia for points.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There was a lot of those.
Hey, listen. You know what?
I remember this
Everybody gets their checks.
I remember this one.
Applejack's Crashers.
Oh my God, I played so much of this game. Not realizing I was being marketed to, truly and genuinely.
No, it's just Applejack's Crashers. Starring your favorite cereal. That guy. Is that the Applejack's mascot?
Yeah, there's 2 Applejack's mascots. There's a cinnamon and an apple.
I simply do not remember that.
Really?
That guy looks
huge.
like he's. That guy, they're
They're
fused
stacked together for some reason.
They're one horrible being that's stacked together. Well, I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
Yeah. So typically they were like this.
Cinnamon?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, with the accent and all.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. It was it looks like they've updated it since then, and now they just have it as a cinnamon stick that does not depict any sort of stereotypes.
Hey, click on that Daily Dot article. Oh my God. Beloved Applejack's mascot Cinnamon loses his dreadlocks.
So, we're just discovering a lot of things about our childhoods here today.
Yeah, this is from a real fucking wild time in the internet's
years
history.
Of Applejack's commercials. I can't believe you don't remember that. That's wild. It was huge. Here's another one. Here's Kellogg's Applejack's Moped Madness, Applejack's Gliders. They had a lot of Applejack's games. Applejack's Underwater Race to the Bowl.
Here's Disney's 101 Dalmatians Doors and Keys.
I remember that one. Pop-Tarts Go Tarts Grab and Go.
Wow.
I've got a playlist here of like all of them. And it's not just the marketed games. Those just are all mixed in because there's so many. Yeah.
Wow.
Cast Basher, anybody though?
Dude, this is seriously just watch an ad to get gems in your mobile game, but it's the game.
Yeah.
Here's a Wallace and Gromit gets 750 Neo points for watching a Wallace and Gromit thing.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, am I remembering the correct game? Was there a TV room where you could go and watch commercials and get points? Just watch commercials? Am I remembering that correctly? There was like a television.
It's a whack-a-mole.
It was just an ad watching game. The whole game was just watching ads. Thank you. Okay.
Oh my God.
There was it was in the game space.
No,
and it
that
was one of
sounds-
those things that you could do daily.
That sounds absolutely correct.
Where you would go and just watch ads. And that was the entire thing. Now, the games being, Applejack's themes or whatever, at least you got a game. And the games were fun. We weren't playing them, they were fun.
Hey, name your favorite YTV afternoon cartoon characters. Remember to watch Beyblade. That's the game. Woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, it was in the cinema. I think that's what it was. I think you're right.
Yeah, that sounds like something they would make its own thing. Like you would go and watch it.
You would. You would go and watch ads, and you just get points for watching them.
Hey, let it rip, y'all.
That was the hustle, baby.
This is wild to me.
Here's what I want to say. As somebody who ended up being a rampant communist, I did so much capitalism in video games.
Yeah, we all did.
I capitalismed harder than most children in video games. I was the person who was like, I will watch every ad. I will optimize everything. I will reload. I will do all of my fucking dailies.
What's Grand Theft Imagine?
I don't know.
Are we about to watch this little Imagine carjack somebody?
Maybe. I was
hope
running
so.
scams too in these games.
Yeah, I could see the similarity to Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I could see where they got. Yeah.
Probably the hedges.
Yeah. Why is this? This is like the Spectrum ZX version of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
This is wild. What?
I have played this.
The Imagine is the purple fruit. Thank you. What's the name of the little guy? That's the little guy.
That's grand.
That's grand. That's grand.
Yeah,
and then
the
the
other
little
one's
blue
theft.
one is theft.
Yeah.
This is wild. Well, we're excited that Neopets is back.
We're so excited we went over time on the show.
We could not be happier that Neopets is back. Congratulations to the entire Neopets team. And don't you even think you're saying no NFTs. You're saying no NFTs. You stick to that.
Forget about me.
You stick to it.
Don't. There was a game about Pop-Tarts.
Are you sure there wasn't an ad about Pop-Tarts that they tricked you into believing was a game?
Maybe. I'll figure that out later. Anyways, everybody, hey, thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you so much for those who came over from the raid. If you stuck around, drop a follow. We do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's usually us just chatting about something that's in the news and getting a chance to talk about things that we like. We have a Discord where you can suggest things that you like, that you want to talk about with us, and that we can talk about on the show. And that is free to join. You don't even have to be subscribed or anything. That's just where our dope-ass community hangs out. Everybody's very fucking pleasant here. We also have a Patreon that you can go over and support us, where you get a bonus story from the show every single week. What did we do last week? Oh, we read through more I Don't Have Eggs. I Didn't Have Eggs.
Yeah.
We just read you a bunch of I Didn't Have Eggs because we were having a good time with them.
We were having a good time.
Because we was giggling on our own about it. You can also do things like follow us when we're not here, like where, Anthony?
You can find me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And you can also listen to my science comedy podcast, We Have Concerns, at wehaveconcerns.com.
Very cool. If you can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige, I stream on my channel. You can find me there this evening, actually, streaming. I'm playing through, still on Story of Seasons, Anthony.
You're never not going to be on
I'm
Story
never
of
not
Seasons.
going to be on
You've
Story
been on
of
Story of
Seasons.
Seasons for almost 30 years.
Yes, I have. You're absolutely right. Longer than I've been alive.
That's right.